Hello and welcome to the Bellarine Community Health Emergency Management Plan, Module 6, During, After and Recovery Plan Training. This training session is run by Kaizen Synergy Law Firm. If you do have any questions on this training or about the module that we are going to show you, then by all means contact Karen Digby, Michelle Dale, or any of the executive management group. So let's have a look at during, after, and recovery plan of the Bellarine Community Health document. This document is made available to you, and you can view this at any stage across Bellarine Community Health sites. What it does cover is during and after emergencies, and also the recovery plan into different parts. During and after emergencies includes activating your emergency management plan, sources of emergency information, and notifying the department. The recovery plan goes into a little bit more detail and also looks at assessing and communication, as well as also alternative accommodation where required, as well as equipment supplies, asset repair and cleanup and maintenance as well too. So how is and who is responsible for the emergency management plan and the activation of it? Well, essentially what we do find is that the service providers are responsible for activating their own emergency management plan, and this is usually done by the CEO or the CEO's delegate. It includes ensuring that where there is a catastrophic declaration being made, then essentially the notification or advice from the Department of Emergency Services is actually not required. And Bellarine can do this and make this decision on its own as well too. There are a specific number of steps that actually does need to occur. One of those things is actually notifying the department, and we've actually highlighted this in the module as well too, just to draw your attention to it. So essentially, service providers like Bellarine Community Health must notify the department by phone if an emergency result in changes to service delivery, and again when normal services have resumed. Notification is actually required where there is a change to the way services are delivered, including the decision to stop services, when a service is required to relocate to a different address, including relocation required under a catastrophic provision, within 5 days of services returning to normal operations following a catastrophic provision, and if the service or placement has not or is not expected to return to normal within 5 days. And so essentially there is a number of key steps in terms of activating the emergency management plan. What happens after that is the recovery plan. Now, the recovery plan is activated by the CEO or delegated to members of the executive management team. And a copy of the recovery checklist can be found in this document as well too. And you can see that we've actually got that located down the bottom here in terms of critical assessments that need to be done in terms of the assessment by BCH. What you will also find in terms of this when we talk of the recovery plan is also looking at assessment. And following an emergency situation, relevant BCH personnel will actually assess the impact of the emergency on facilities and assets, including the environment and also service delivery implications for staff. And this is obviously really critically important for ensuring a smooth recovery plan is actually undertaken. What will also occur is key personnel such as procurement, contracts and facilities manager will arrange for the assessment of public health hazards, including water supply, infectious diseases, sanitation, food storage, pest control, etc. And also the finance manager will contact the insurance company to lodge damages claims and seek approval to proceed with recovery. There's also, importantly, what also needs to happen is communication. All communication will be managed by the CEO in consultations with the communications manager. And essentially, all of the delivery of information will be done via this method directly to all staff across BCH. Where required, there may also be alternate accommodation for administrative staff, and also the provision of services will be sought if required as well. And this also includes essential services may be outsourced, for example, like sterilizations of equipment and also dental services too. Equipment and supplies will also be managed as well too by key managers within BCH, and also asset repair and cleanup will be managed by the facilities manager and also the procurement team as well. We also have essentially clear areas around financial management with the chief operating officer, stakeholders, where the CEO will also liaise with department and non-department agencies, and also HR and debriefing will also occur in consultation between the manager of HR and also the executive director and CEO. Essentially, debriefing to all staff volunteers impacted by the emergency will also occur regularly, and in the event of an incident, unfortunately, causing death or serious injury to any persons, then of course post-trauma counselling by suitable qualified professionals will also be made available as well too. And there will also be access to EAP for staff and volunteers will continue to be made available as well too. If there are any donations that are also being made, be that financial or non-financial as well, again, the Chief Operating Officer or delegation to other executive managers will be also responsible for managing that. And again, it's important to be aware that there are key personnel across these particular areas that will serve as the contact points and also ensure smooth communication of what we are seeing across the board in terms of what needs to happen during, after the recovery plan, during an emergency management event. As we mentioned, if you do have any questions regarding this, by all means, please reach out to Karen Digby, Michelle Day, or any of the executive management group. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.